Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads. And, as always, welcome back to our Around the Hearth discussion. This time, we are discussing chaotic good in our alignment series. Before we get into that, we're going to do our announcements like we usually do. Always less than 5 minutes for my part. You can time me. Here we go. So for the Inn of Planar Crossroads, as it stands right now, we are currently at 910 subscribers. So, almost to 1,000. So, other channels may not think that is impressive, but I am sorry.
It was impressive at one time.
It was impressive at one time for a tabletop channel to get 1,000 subs. So,
yeah, but for every tabletop channel, they were impressed with themselves at 1,000 subs unless they were crazy lucky, because that is not an instant thing.
Yeah, unless you were Critical Role or things after.
Okay, professional voice actor though, like.
Yeah, that was the thing. They had a built-in bass.
Yeah, that's not a fair comparison.
That's true. That is true. But you're elongating my announcements. I'm missing my time.
Sorry.
So we got almost 1,000 subscribers. So hopefully by the end of the year we will be at 1,000 subs and maybe get to do something special. I haven't ironed out exactly what I'm going to do, but hopefully something. Along with that, I always forget to do it at the beginning, so I'm remembering to do it now. If you like the content you are about to see, then you can check us out on Patreon or Subscribestar, the Inn of Planar Crossroads on either one of those. And I am currently working out, we have a web page, and I'm currently trying to think of a design that I like, which will allow direct payment through, like tips through PayPal, if you want to do that instead, and not go through the other services. So, that is possibly going to be an option in the near future. But that's my plan so far. That also covers announcements of working on the webpage redesign. And, hope you guys are enjoying Adventure Academia. This will come out in between some Adventures Academia. So, hopefully y'all are enjoying it. You can always let me know how much you hate it down in the comment section below. So, yeah. Don't do it. No. Don't
comment on this one and that one, how much you hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra comments.
So that way, yeah, gotta keep up the engagement.
Yeah. That should be a thing. Anybody who comes to the channel, we should just encourage to write engagement in a comment and then send it. Or make some weird thing up regarding the topic, like I have to do for the polls. Like,
yes.
I rolled an engagement on a D20 or something like that. I don't know. Do that this time if you actually watch this and bother to do it. I rolled engagement on a D20. What do I win? Or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's my discussion, I think. That's all the things I have to announce. Now, we've got Dan from Avenue Studios.
Hello.
And
I got Kristen here with me.
Yeah. So do you have any announcements?
Right. Yes. We are, unfortunately, I didn't make it with the construction yet, so hopefully for the next Around the Hearth, I'll have the construction done. I actually have no options, so hopefully you'll be able to see that. You can follow my progress on our social media. We're also on Patreon and Locals. We're actually doing, I just released a video today that we're doing a subscriber challenge. So if we get 10 more patrons or local subscribers, so combined there, we are going to do a special movie night where we watch my college senior thesis film that stars Ryan and Austin from Bomb Squad. It's a fantasy short film.
It's so good.
There's
parachuting shots from the air. It's really good.
It was 15 years ago, so it's very exciting. So we're looking to beef up our subscribers there and then do a big celebration with lots of giveaways. And, of course, you can check us out on YouTube, podcasts, and Rumble.
And we have a new logo.
Oh, and we have a new logo, yes.
So, yeah.
Yep, Druid's taking over, so.
Yeah, that's what I commented on it. I said, this channel's nothing but Druid propaganda. With all this.
I was trying to find a good GIF to reply back to you, and I just couldn't find a solid Druid GIF.
There's a dirge of Druid GIFs out there, people. Something must be done.
Somebody's got to make one. So yeah, that's us at Avenue Studios.
Cool beans. All right. And then we've got Levi, who is our spotlighter dude. Do you have a spotlight this time?
As opposed to a channel or, like, more specific project, just a RPG type I've been looking into recently are the Powered by the Apocalypse games. Actually took the time to... Friend has a physical book called Root. But the core point, I was actually getting to read through some of the Powered by the Apocalypse mechanics. Very interesting. Like, every aspect of mechanics is very narrative-centered, so it is interesting in that way. It makes it like everything has a strong potential to change and be warped in what I think is the ideal way to play Open Legend, but in a way that you are forced to, empowered by the Apocalypse.
Okay. So
it's just an interesting system. I think you should Blades in the Dark is a good one if you want a grungy, weird magic system. There's Masks if you want to play like magical girls. Hey, sometimes you need to be Sailor Moon. Like,
sure.
Hey, I mean, if you look up how powerful Sailor Moon was, she was epic level NPC, like mythic tier NPC.
Yeah.
Not NPC, player character, mythic tier PC.
Yeah. But the core point, I think it's an interesting system that's worth a try. I still haven't got a chance to play it.
Well, you
just
never
hasn't worked out.
But he'd love to live vicariously through you in the comments section.
That's fair. Because there was an Avatar: The Last Airbender Powered by the Apocalypse system that got kickstarted recently, and it blew through some records.
Oh, sweet.
Well, I like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not Korra, but I like Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, maybe.
Besties. Yeah.
I mean, they broke their own lore in their discussion. That's a total different thing. Yeah. That's a blooper discussion. Okay.
That was rambly. There we go. Look into Powered by the Apocalypse games. There's good couple different ones for good couple different vibes. The one he has is if Redwall were less one community focused.
Mm-hmm. So kind of like kingdom building mixed in with there?
More so, there are other kingdoms, and you are part of a group that is not in any of them.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You're bandit isn't the wrong word, but you're not necessarily a bandit. You're mercenary sort of crew is what it's supposed to be.
That sounds fun.
And it gives some pre-set up factions. It's not actually in Redwall, but that was the touchstone I went. It's sentient animals of the smaller variety, and the larger ones are magical and scary.
Beautiful.
It's very Redwall.
Well, I've always liked the idea of the setting of Redwall with that. So, and kids really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And even these big kids. So.
Yeah.
We have
there are a bunch
so
of
many of them
right
over here.
Fair enough. Okay. So, that was myself, Dan, Kristen, and Levi. So, any more announcements before we start, guys?
Let's do this.
All right. So, come on in. Sit down by the fire with us, travelers, and warm your toes as you grab your favorite beverage and discuss with us, via the comments below if you wish, chaotic good. So we decided that I was starting this time. So, let me see. Got my notes and my stuffs. Okay, so on chaotic good, we talked before about this whole big access thing, and chaotic, as we were going down the line, we were seeing that lawful valued the law more than anything. Neutral liked a balance of law and self. And then as you go further down that spectrum, you get chaos, which values self over neutrality or law. And when you pair that with good, a lot of the times a quote I found was something along this line. It ends up being something along this line. Doing the right thing, even if it kills everyone. So that's a humorous way to look at kind of how a chaotic good individual might approach a situation. And the chaotics can be a bit divorced from the... they are allowed in their ideas, I suppose, similar to the neutrals, but not quite to the point as the chaotics, of being either divorced or separated from, or more ambivalent towards sometimes, the ideas of the different cosmic orders, because it's so much about self. You want to do good, and you want to do good not just for yourself but for other people, even if they gotta do some hard stuff to do it, you're gonna make sure they're doing good stuff, type of things. And that's a way that can be approached with it. Some characters I've seen put forward as it are like Jack Sparrow, but I would caution someone using Jack Sparrow as a direct representation of chaotic good from the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. In the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, he was much more chaotic neutral, in my opinion. So spoilers for that when we get there next time. But very much chaotic good as you went further down the movies, because he was investing in and caring about these people, and I guess you could call it character development. They needed him to be good in the story. They needed him to have reasons for his kind of flippant back and forth type of thing. One that actually might be better for characters to look at is like Aladdin from the Disney Aladdin movie. He has a very chaotic good energy, in my opinion. He's a riff-raff, street rat, I don't buy that. So he's got that background in this harsh circumstance that he's in, but he's still trying to do good in those harsh circumstances. And you could argue that's neutral good, but I don't really think so, because he doesn't really care if he's stealing from people. He's out there to survive. I mean, he wouldn't steal if he didn't have to, but he's got no qualms about doing it if he needs to, is kind of the idea. And that might be a way to look at it, for one. Another one I saw listed was V for Vendetta, so if you're going for that darker type of chaotic good, because chaotic good can be dark. And in the movie especially, V is presented as this very, this force interested in good, in the good of the people, in this case, and in other things. But he wasn't above revenge along with that good. So there was that dark edge there that can be seen from chaotic good that's not always presented well. I guess if you were gonna look at it, another one that could be presented in that way is the Punisher from Marvel. But he really he verges on chaotic neutral a lot of the times. I guess it would depend a lot on the story you find him in, because there are, much like Batman, there are going to be much darker or much lighter versions of, the Punisher.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Those are some listings of some people for consideration, some fictional characters you can draw on while looking at this. As far as the cosmic level goes, there's several deities that are involved with chaotic good as their alignment in representation. And because this whole series has been kind of about the 9 alignments and not that big large chart that you sometimes see of alignments of social good and all this little minutia stuff, just like 9 alignments. Caden Kalian is very popular among adventurers and I don't mean like in the lore he's very popular. I mean, people pick Caden Kalian a lot in their stories, in their backstories and stuff like that, as their deity that they kind of follow, because he's very easy to follow. He's pretty easy.
Be good, have a good time.
Yeah, live good, have a good time, and freedom for everybody type of thing. though he's not quite as freedom for everybody as a different deity that I'll get to in a minute. But he definitely is very much, everybody should be free to seek their own good and will and stuff like that. And then there is the more dreamy one that is present in both. She's present in both Pathfinder and Starfinder, and that is Desna. Desna is a very popular deity for adventurers. One, because of her lore, but two, the things in her lore and her tenets are very conducive for adventuring. So if you're looking at deities that are along the chaotic good axis, and you're looking for ones that are easy to act into, easy to work with, and have your character go in for and really be a part of it without having to be overly zealous, Cade, Kaleen, and Desna are pretty good options. The other one I wanted to mention plays back into that darker edge that chaotic good can have, and that is Milani. Now, she's the deity of rebellion, basically. But, like, rebellion against governments and things like that. Think basically a deity of the French Revolution. But she wants revolution a lot, all the time. Like, there should be constant revolution. And that can be a antagonistic portion to other good alignments that are like, okay, we've had a revolution, let's get something settled here so we don't do that again or need that again. She may not necessarily agree with the lawful good paladin on no, we're not going to do that. No, just no more. And that, I mean, it's attractive in the sense of, hey, let's have this in the fantasy world where nobody's got rules on anything. You run into the problem when, hey, do you want to go and go to the tavern? Sure. What are you going to give them for their drinks? Coinage? Well, whose coinage? What coinage? Like, there's,
right.
Yeah, there's no law for it.
So, how apparently that has been done at certain points is that you would just owe them a favor.
Yeah, those favors can get a bit...
They can. That's why I said it in that tone.
Yeah. So, that might be something that is there. And I don't like, really, that a lot of... And this is a pet peeve, I guess. Not really a peeve, but something I noticed. A lot of the times when people pick chaotics of any kind, they justify it as... They'll do something stupid, and then... Well, that's what the character would have done because he's chaotic or she's chaotic. Like, that doesn't mean she's stupid. Like, a chaotic good is not going to just... Even Milani, a servant of Milani, would not just go out and... Oh, there's the leader of this particular place. You know, with their gunslinger or something. Oh, all done. Like, that wouldn't be smart. That wouldn't be intelligent.
Right. Like, chaos as opposed to structure. Like, more entropy as opposed to chaos as in randomness.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think is an important thing. Because, like, just because you are chaotic doesn't mean that you, like, have no consistent concept to your character. When we're talking chaotic good, like, a good archetype, I think, is the vigilante in general. They're, like, going against the law, going against the order, but for a good cause. They do have principles and concepts and things they're going for, and, like, they have a consistent pattern of, like, who they are, what they want, what they are trying to do, but it just doesn't conform within a specific societal outset.
Mm-hmm. Or the society that they're in is against that type of outset. Like if you're if they're in Cheliax, which is the lawful evil place of devils in Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's a bad place.
Bad place. But if you're doing that, then your character would do things, but not so they get killed.
It actually does bring up the interesting thing that, like, in a sufficiently cruel and authoritarian place, it is hard to tell the difference between a neutral and chaotic good character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I've seen this because a lot of people like to characterize Robin Hood as chaotic good when I think that comes from a misunderstanding of his character. He's much more neutral good than he is chaotic good, because he didn't want to depose the king. He was forced to do unlawful things because the rulership of that area set up the situation in that type of way where that was the only way to help people. But he's not wanting to depose authority. He still wants there to be authority. So he's more neutral good than he's chaotic. Yeah.
Well, and I think, too, that gets to the thing we've been trying to point out, too, is that we're looking at this at the cosmic level, because that would be something like Robin Hood. He's looking at a higher order that those in positions of power they're actually going against. So I think he would see himself as actually in the right, waiting for the true king to come. I thought one of the recommendations that I saw that I liked was Han Solo from Star Wars, since we always do Star Wars.
There's got to be at least one.
Gotta be one. And I like him too because they were pointing out that he wants to be chaotic neutral. Like, that's especially when he first shows up. He tries to play it off that way.
Yeah.
But he has attachments. He has things he cares about, especially going through the series. And it actually, at a broad overview, I think it's good for a character growth too, a chaotic good character growth too. Because they point out in Return of the Jedi, he even says he'll let Leia go. Like, he's really starting to have these higher virtues that he'll relinquish his selfish desires for these higher virtues, which makes him more of a good character. But he's still chaotic. He still goes against authority. He doesn't like any of it, So that's the thing for me too with the chaotic, because I was thinking about what you were saying first, Adam, too. Made me think of like the pixie phase, the good kind of pixie phase. So they'll do good even if it kills you. Very much that kind of vibe I get.
Yeah.
And then,
but we helped. We did exactly what you asked for. Wasn't that what you wanted? I said I wanted to be closer to them, not chained to them.
But you'll always be close. These chains don't break.
Yes. We can make you closer. They're Siamese twins now.
Yes. I like chaotic good. When people don't, the chaos thing, regardless of good, neutral, evil, is always, like you guys were pointing out, the problem of using that as an excuse to do crazy stuff. But actually, I think there's a lot of play in chaotic good of doing something like the Fey-ish style of good, even if it'll kill you, to something like Han Solo, or actually Hellboy. Some people were making an argument for Hellboy being kind of chaotic good, in that he wasn't going for a higher order. He wanted to prove himself and to do these things, but he really doesn't like law, and clearly he doesn't always do things by the book. So that can be the darker side. I think those are good characters, are as dark as some of the other ones mentioned, but might be pushing a little bit that way. So I feel like there's a lot of play in there, and you're still good. But having those virtues that are just a notch, I guess I'm saying the virtues are just a notch above your selfishness. You're still going to do it your way, but you will, when push comes to shove, there's these things that you have that are more important to you and worth some kind of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was thinking of Ichigo from Bleach, how he'll save the innocents just because he wants to. Like, that's his thing.
Yeah.
And, I have to say the name, Rukia! He has to go and save her. That's how he says her name all the time.
Gosh, I haven't thought of
And,
Bleach forever.
yeah.
That's a good one.
So he could, literally, destroys the society of this afterlife, just trying to save her. He doesn't care. He's like, I'm just going to save the innocents because that's, what I do,
Yeah.
And
it doesn't matter if it brings down the whole society that orders the afterlife, and all these souls are going to have trouble getting to where they need to be, and then all these other things and all that. That doesn't matter. I'm going to save
Rukia tells him not to.
Rukia.
She's like, don't.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
No, forget you. I don't care what your wishes are. I'm going to do good. Even
I'm
if it
saving
kills
you. Accept it.
Yes.
And they have to present it in a good light because he's the hero and stuff. But I would be so annoyed if I had a friend who was like, "No, I'm going to help you anyway." I'm like, I don't want your help. Like, don't help me.
Yeah.
No, hands up, no.
But he's so real in that way too, though, because because it's based on his past and things that have happened to him. Of course, that's why he acts the way that he does.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. It's a real character.
There's a lot of chaotic characters in Bleach. I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah.
There.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of chaotic. Zenpachi.
I feel like chaotic characters kind of fit shonen in general because it allows you to just do what you're feeling in a certain way. Right? Like you give them the strong ideals, you make them the chaotic good, so that way. Like, they can fight for it, and they can come into conflict with their society regularly, so you can keep things dramatic all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
that's a good point.
Stories are about drama in some way,
right.
form, or fashion. So,
which is why a lot of times lawful characters are the most interesting in, like, either places with a very strict but opposing law, or in lawless lands. Right? Like, a lot of their most interesting parts in the narrative comes when they're, like, specifically very strongly opposed to the area they're in. Even if they are very lawful, they just need to be a different kind of lawful than the area they're in to make that, so that way it's consistently dramatic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I am kind of wondering how much chaos in this sense is less selfishness and more arrogance in I am absolutely correct in the other side of this morality that I have chose. So regardless of what other people want and how they want to go about it, I am going about it correctly. Because there are certain chaotic good characters who do not feel selfish, but the sense in which they're going against everyone's wishes is still might be better phrased as arrogance. Even if they are correct that they are more moral in this case, there's like that like unwavering knowledge that they have of it that's like, hey, maybe take half a second if everyone else disagrees.
Yeah. And it could be a way that a chaotic good might end up developing into something, like if they do go down that darker path, like, no, these people need this. I have to give it to them. They just don't know that they need it. I have to give it to them. And so they start veering away from good into coercion, which, chaotic good is not unknown to coercion, but they start relying more and more on that until they drift from chaotic good to more like chaotic neutral or evil without even realizing it. The character might not even realize it. Now, the player should realize it because they're making the decisions. But
there's in My Hero Academia, there's the one villain who views himself as a vigilante doing the best that he can to rid things of heroes.
The hero killer.
Bloodstain? Yeah. Like, I think there's a reasonable argument to make that he is somewhere in that as, like, one who views himself as chaotic good, but is seen as chaotic neutral to evil.
Yeah, his internal self, and this is why cosmic morality can be beneficial for your games, because you have his internal self is chaotic good, you might say. Like, this is good for people. They don't know it's good for them, but it's good for them. So I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to give them what they need, not what they want. And that might be a way for that to start to bleed over. And his internal self is that. But his external actions make him something else. The way in which he chooses to do it, the actions, not the words, but the actions define him as evil rather than good.
Right.
Yeah. He seems like a good example for that concept.
Cool beans. Let me see. Okay. We are at about 30 minutes. Does anybody have any kind of burning additions that needs to be added to our discussion on chaotic good? Excuse me.
I don't think so. It's always my last word is have fun with it too. Like I really feel like there's a wide berth there that we've covered of ways you could play out chaotic good. So it's a nice robust path to take again at the cosmic level, and just don't use it as an excuse. I mean, that comes with all. I think all the alignments. Just don't use an excuse to be annoying. General life advice.
I looked on the alignment chart. I don't see a alignment for chaotic jerk. So
yeah.
I mean, unless you want to go chaotic evil, but I mean,
but even then, there are ways to like be more table friendly. Yes. It's harder.
Yeah, no,
it's harder.
I would like to see that.
It is harder. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm good enough to do it, but there are ways.
There you go. Well, all right. So that is, for us, chaotic good. Take it as you will. Enjoy those. Let your characters kind of mature into them. And I think that our next discussion, chaotic neutral, which we'll film in just a minute, will be one that is not necessarily going to go exactly like people might think. But anyway, you'll have to tune in to find out. Self-plugged on that, yeah. Put that in.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. So that's inconspicuous. Good. Oh. They didn't even know. This is full-on subliminal. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming by, travelers. And we hope you enjoyed our discussion on chaotic good. As always, have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.
Okay.
Nice.
That one's done.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played a chaotic good character. Oh, no, he was neutral.
No, I don't play it either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I have, but that's mainly because I don't play it. I've played lots of chaotic. I've played lots of chaotic NPCs, but
yes, okay, yep.
PCs.
Yep.
So
I have one character that he teeters, you know. It depended on this, so he's a little more neutral.
Yeah.
I never got to finish his story and see where he ended up too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, bathroom break time, and then we'll
Sounds good.
come back up. Probably have to start a new call when I come back up.
Okay.
Sounds good. Do. Chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
It might be the most abused one in my experience.
I just want to do what I want.
I do what I want.
Yeah. I feel chaotic evil would be more abused if people let people play chaotic evil.
Right.
There's some people who just want to be bad.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why it's like I'm sure we'll get into it. It's like I have not experienced as much, but heard so many horror stories of people who say they're chaotic neutral and they're totally just chaotic evil.
Yeah.
There's no balance.
Well, they say that because they're like, well, I'm still going to do good things because I'm with the group. But, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It so strongly brings up the, like, hey, remember, the group has to have reasons to travel with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Like, I don't know about you.
Everyone's walking. Why are you here? Like everyone stops, realizes.
Like, I'm not friends with anyone who kicks puppies. Just, that's just like a basic rule.
Basic. Okay. Yeah. You make me say things I shouldn't say on camera.
I don't know what you're gonna say.
Just puppies and them getting badly hurt and stuff.
No, not the puppies.
No, I'm not the one doing it.
That's ominous. Just gonna say.
Like, what does that mean? I have no idea.
You made me go down the wrong tube.
You're welcome.
Oh, man.
Was that one of those? It wasn't me. It was the NPC character type of situations.
Totally.
We don't know yet. He hasn't told us.
I'm never gonna tell. Creepy baby turning.
Oh. Okay.
Oh man.
Let's see. All right. So we will start a new call.
Makes
All right.
sense.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds
Have
good.
a little extra leeway of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because sometimes we need it.
We need.